Well, hello there, friends and family. So good to see you again tonight. It's been a while since you snuck on into the country kitchen, ain't it? Yep, like normal. It's getting dark out. Now, it ain't all that late for us. It's only 6:30. But it's that time to put something tasty together. So since all of y'all dropped on in and everything, why don't you move on in? Let me show you what I got and what we're going to be cooking up. And just maybe you'll enjoy it too. So y'all, like always, we got a few things here you're going to need. Just to give you a real quick premiere. You're going to need you some of this here cream of mushroom soup. Surely you are. You're going to need some mushrooms. This just happens to be canned. Pieces and stems. That'll be okay. Now you could use fresh if you wanted to. You're going to need some spices. Some thyme leaves. Some parsley flakes. And for this dish, try and stay original to the recipe, because this goes all the way back to my great grandmother. I'm going to be using some of that there dehydrated McCormick minced garlic. And of course, we're going to need some salt, some pure ground black pepper, and then of course, some potatoes. Now you can use reds, Yukon Gold, purple, whatever you want. I'm just going to go with what we always had in our household all the way through me growing up and pretty much most of my life. Russets. You're going to need you an onion. We're using the yellow one. You're going to need you some ground meat. What we've got here, of course, is 73/27, like always. You know, about a pound. This ain't quite a pound. It's 0.85. You're going to need you some green peas. These happen to be frozen. But back during my childhood, my great-grand, my grands, and my mama, they'd have used canned. You're also going to need some milk if you got it on hand. If not, you can substitute water. May not be as creamy, but it'll be just fine. So it ain't a whole lot. But I got some work to do. You know, I got to get those taters washed up and peeled. Yep, you don't got to peel them, but I'm gonna. Got to slice and dice that onion and brown up some hamburger. So when we get to that point, you know, I'll bring y'all on back on in the kitchen. Now, if any of y'all would like to help me, you know, wash up taters, peel and slice, take care of that onion, then, you know, one or two of you can stay in the kitchen. Otherwise, the rest of you are going to have to meander on out into the dining room, living room, and talk amongst yourselves. I'll yell at you when it's time to bring you on back in and show you what we got going on. Okay? Well, y'all, as you can see, we got that there ground beef in our skillet. We're going to start cooking it off. One thing I want to say right now, you see, some of it's pink and some of it looks a little bit grayish brown, right? Don't let that fool you. That ain't bad meat. That's just something that happens to meat called oxidation. And any of y'all ever thought all that red juice in the bottom of your meat trays over at Walmart was blood, or any other place you buy beef, you'd be wrong. That's actually a solution. Forget what it's called. That's made to make the meat look redder than what it would actually be in real life. Make it look more palatable. Yeah. Ain't got nothing to do with freshness. It's got to do with additives. And you can read some of those meat packages and it'll tell you up to 20% by weight can be that added solution. Surely it can. You're just going to start cooking up your ground beef, ground meat, you know, whatever type you want. You want to go 80-20, 90-10, whether you want to use ground meat, ground round, ground chuck, you just go for it. Whatever makes you happy. This is poor folk cooking. Most of us poor folk, just like back during the days of me growing up, oh, there wasn't going to be no ground chuck, ground sirloin, ground round, none of that stuff. No. It was just going to be ground beef. And hopefully it was beef. If it looks like meat, tastes like meat, maybe sort of kinda, it's meat. Of course, that's getting harder to tell these days, ain't it? With all that there plant-based stuff coming online. As I've done a video, show you a burger that I tried that was plant-based. But you're going to just want to get this cooking up some and all that. We got a few things we got to add to it. And this is just the first stage in this process. You might think, oh well, you're watching this video, why go through all these different steps? It's all about making things tasty. Tasty takes time. So, next thing we're going to add in is that one medium yellow onion we chopped up. About a 1/4 inch chop, as you can see. And you might notice some green here that I didn't show you when I was talking about the ingredients. Well, just happen to still have some fresh celery. And I like the way celery tastes. So I thought, well, why not? Let's add some celery in there. Give it a little more flavor. You don't like celery? You ain't got to do it. Leave it on out. It's one of those there things in a recipe you'll often see called optional. We'll just make it out that the celery is optional. And see, this whole dish, once we get it all put together, as you see it develop, it's going to be finished off in the oven. Oh yeah, surely is. This is just the first step. Getting our meat mixture all made up. Of course, I might add, it's going to be pretty darn tasty all on its own. With all that fresh chopped onion, celery, woo! You can get out some buns, toast them. And once I get this meat mixture done, you could use it, fill up a bun, and you'd have you a meal too. Just say. And we're just going to let that cook a little bit. Like I say, we don't got to get things tender right now. The onion and the celery, because this still got more cooking time later in the process. Now if you're all in the fast 5 or 10 minute recipes, well, this one might not be for you. Y'all watch that while I get the next ingredient. So the next thing we're going to add to it is some of those mushrooms. Yes, right here, already cut up for us. Fancy they are. And I don't even know. This is a 13.5 ounce size. And it's got a pile of them in there. we're just going to put in about a half can. So I guess you'd say 6 ounces. And like I say, you could use some fresh button mushrooms. Oh, you want to get really fancy, you put you in some of them there shiitakes. Woo! People think you were high class then. But like I say, we just little old senior poor folk. We're gonna have to go with the canned button mushrooms. I don't ever remember my great-grand or my grandmothers or even my mama ever having no fresh mushroom. Next we're gonna drop on in, yep, cream of mushroom. We're gonna drop that whole can in. We're just gonna have more mushrooms in it, but that'll be okay. Can't have too many mushrooms as far as I'm concerned. There we go. Just gonna spread that all around in there. Let's start that co-mingle. Get a little stirring spatula here. You can probably see, and if you were here right now, you could smell just how good this would be. Like I say, you got some hot dog buns, hamburger buns sitting on the side that haven't been used. Oh yeah. Just once I get this meat mixture done, it comes in right handy for that too. We're going to turn our heat down a little bit. Got that on 7. We're going to kick her on down to about a 3. We were trying to get that meat started going. Get that pan nice and hot. Now we need to season it up some. Got to have more seasoning. Now you got to remember, this meat's going to go with potatoes. Now I'm putting the pure ground black pepper in it right now. Oh, about 1/2 to 3/4 teaspoon. I like pepper. If you don't put as much. It's just that simple. Maybe start out with a 1/4 teaspoon. Taste it. Next we're going to put in a little bit of salt. Right there, about 1 teaspoon of salt too. That soup had some of it in there as well. Now let's start putting that flavor. We're going to go ahead with a teaspoon of thyme leaves, not ground thyme, thyme leaves. Remember, we're not only flavoring the meat, we're going to be flavoring some taters that all this is going to pair with when we're putting in the final dish. Then we got to get some garlic in there. Life cannot go on without garlic. And we're also going to put a teaspoon of that, which equates to, if you're using the minced garlic, dehydrated, look on the back, 1/4 teaspoon minced garlic is 1 clove of fresh. Yeah. And just in case you didn't know, if you want to use garlic powder, you can. That's 1/8 of a teaspoon. Yeah, makes a big difference depending on what you use. So now we're just going to get all that incorporated. It's going to start all that flavor coming together and that meat mixture. Now what I've got to add is a little bit of milk. Probably about 1/2 can. What I'm thinking. Let me get it. Y'all keep an eye on this for me, okay? So we'll add that 1/2 soup can of milk on in there. That's whole milk. You use whatever you like. And we'll just mix all that up too. So that's gonna make everything more creamy. Just let her continue to cook a little bit. And you let her cook down to get the consistency you desire. I want creamy, because we all know potatoes gonna soak up some of this. Now, especially if you're using dehydrated potato slices, like I showed all y'all how to make some beautiful ones in a video a year or two back, can't remember. You can look it up on my channel. I'd increase the milk up to a full can. Yes, I would. So there you have it. One last thing to add. We almost forgot. We almost forgot to add our parsley. And this is Parsley Flakes. Of course, they're dry and dehydrated. We're going to toss them on in there. Yep. So y'all, while I was putting a little bit of that away, you didn't let it burn on me, did you? Think it's getting creamy enough? I'm thinking it is. It's probably just about getting right. Start putting the final dish together. But before we do that, gotta do something we gotta remember to do. And that is preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Okay? So we're gonna let her cook a little more. Then we're gonna turn off the burner. And we're gonna get out one of our casserole dishes. Let me show it to you. Yep, right here it is. And I think this is an 8x8. Plenty big enough. That's what we're going to be putting it all together in tonight. See, we got that just starting to bubble. Simmer away. Simmer so good. Whew. We must be doing something right. Gracie woke up and she's in the kitchen. And she only does that if it smells tasty. Just like Trixie used to. So we're gonna let it simmer a minute. Shut the burner off. Let her cool down a little bit. We're gonna start throwing this together. Got to spray our casserole dish too. Some of that there high technology non-stick spray. Why? I'm a bachelor. I'm lazy. Now I might add, so at this stage, you want to check that seasoning. Make sure you're good with it. And I just sort of licked off my stirring spatula there. And it's flavorful. I'm just going to tell you. I'm happy. So I'm good with the spices. Okay. Let's take it and give it another quick stir. We're going to turn our burner off. Take it off the heat. Spray up our casserole. Get our taters. And start making the final dish. Woo! Now, if you did want to use this for sandwiches, you just cook it down some more. Get it really nice, thick and creamy. And hey, you can eat this right here over noodles, rice, or mashed taters. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you what, you won't be unhappy. Yep, that's tasty. Well, as y'all can see, I got my Anchor Hocking casserole dish there. Got my sliced taters right here. Right here they are. About 1/8, 3/16 of an inch thick, hand sliced. Got our wonderful meat filling. So now we're ready start putting this all together. Yes, we are. And first thing we're going to do is take us a little bit of that meat mixture, not a lot, right there. And we're just going to place that in the bottom of our casserole dish. Yep. Just line the bottom a little bit. Won't sort of have to wing it there. Cover it real good. Just like we did there. And then we're going to start dropping in our taters. Yep. Start placing them on in there. Just like that. Don't got to be fancy. Don't really matter. It's all going to come out really tasty. We're just going to cover up the whole meat mixture right there. We're going to probably put in about half of those potatoes, more or less. And if I didn't say before, that was 6 medium russet potatoes. Surely was. Now, I know from experience, these taters need a lot of salt. So I'm going to give them just an additional sprinkle of salt and pepper. Like I say, I'm big on the pepper. Now we're going to take some more meat mixture and we're just going to drizzle that over the top. Just like that. Then, what we're going to do, going to take some of these nice frozen green peas, because what goes better, I don't know what, other than green peas. And back in my mama's day, my great-grands and my grandmothers, they would have used canned. And I can tell you right fast, it was just as tasty. You know, you put as many as you want on there, okay? Then what you're going to do, going to add you another layer of potatoes. Yep. Surely are. Just dropping them on in there. It's all going to come together, trust me. You're just layering it. That's all you're doing. And then we're going to add us another sort of light coating of that meat right on in there. Add us another bunch of peas, making it all the more better. You got to eat your colors. There we go. And we got a few taters left, so we're just going to top them off right here on the top, because when this gets close to finishing, oh yeah, we may do something extra fancy. We may add some cheese. I'm just saying. Never know. I'll have to look in the old fridge, see if we got any. So we put what potatoes we had left. Ain't like you got to. Or you could just put them any one of those layers. There's really no exact way to this. It's all gonna get nice and bubbly. It's all gonna come together. Hold on. Everything's ready to go. Yes, it is. So let me bring you down here, show you where we're at. because then we're going to cover it up with foil and stick it in the oven. So there's where we're at. Start out with a very thin meat layer on the bottom. Then, about half sliced potatoes. Another layer of meat, peas, more layer of potatoes, more meat and peas, and then finished it up with what potatoes we had left and what meat was left. Now all we got to do is cover it up with some foil, put it in the oven, preheat at 350, and we're going to let her cook for 1 hour before we bring it out and check it. If everything's looking good, those potatoes are tender. And we got lucky and got some cheese, and we're going to top it off and make it extra fancy. Well, there you have it. Timer's going off. It's been in there for 1 hour. So let's bring it out and check it, okay? Ooh, yeah. Got it right there. Close that oven up. Try to sneak this foil off. Take a look at it. Ooh, God. Look at that. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me bring you over here and check it out. See it right there? Yep. Looking good. I'm going to tell you what. It smells even better. Oh yeah. So, now, if you have cheese, this will be the time to add it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Because we found some in the fridge. Okay? But the first thing we want to do, we want to take our official doneness checker, aka fork, and we want to check these potatoes. Oh yeah. Goes right in. Absolutely. No resistance. But just to make sure, we're going to blow it, cool it off a bit, and give it a quick taste test, just to make sure. Oh yeah. Potatoes are perfect. I mean perfect. So she's ready for some cheese. And we just happened to come across some Mexican cheese. It'll have to do, since that's what we got. That's what we're going to use. Now you don't have to. Back in the day, with my great-grand and grandparents put cheese on top, oh, maybe. I don't ever remember us having cheese. That was special. We kept it for special times. We're just going to sprinkle a little on there. We ain't going to put, you know, like they do on the internet, whole pound or two on there. Just about that much. That'll be fine. And then we're going to put it back in the oven for about 15-20 minutes. Okay? Let that cheese get all melty. There we go. Reset our timer so we don't forget. I'm going to go ahead and go 20 minutes. What do y'all think? And when it goes off, we'll be back. Well, y'all, as you can see, it's out of the oven. And it's looking good. That cheese done melted. Got all nice and crusty. All we got to do now is plate it up over here on our plate. We got some of our world famous poor folk garlic toast, you know, hot dog buns with garlic, herb, butter. Yeah, buddy. We fancy here. So we're just going to dish some of this out. And I'll say something about this right now. It is way more better tomorrow than it is today. Oh yeah. Surely is. So we're going to dish some of it right on out. And it's a meal in itself. Woo! Steaming hot it is. There we go. That'll be plenty for me. Now, I gotta get me a side dish. So, we thought what we would do tonight is we'd have us a little bit of asparagus. Keeping with that there fancy thing. You know? No, it ain't fresh. It's canned. Great value, actually. Cut up asparagus. See right there? It'll still be tasty. Trust me, it will. There we have it. There's our plate. Right there with our potato, hamburger, and casserole. Just like what my grandma and mama would have made. Back when times were hard and life was difficult. Yeah. What we made tonight will be way more better tomorrow. Trust me, it will. It's easy to heat up because it's going to set up some, and all those flavors are going to come together even more better. Just cut your slice out, put it on a plate, put it over there in the nuclear oven. You know, that radar range, microwave. Whatever you want on the side too. Maybe like tonight, you'll be fancy and have some asparagus. And some nice garlic buns with herbs and cheese. Yeah. Only thing left to do now is give it a final taste test and see if it's yummy. Okay? So y'all, it is late. I'm not even going to tell y'all how late it is, because y'all would gasp. But that's one thing about doing a YouTube video when you're cooking. Now this dish would normally take prep time about 30 minutes. Then throw it all together, throw it in the oven for an hour, 350 degrees. Makes it real convenient, because you can clean everything up while it's in the oven cooking. Make up your sides, whatever you want. Easy peasy. But we're going to have to give it a try. If I can get some on this fork. I got me a little bit of everything. Mushrooms, peas, and potatoes. Let's see if it came out as good as I think it did. Okay? Oh. Let me tell you. If that don't make you come home, no matter where you are in the world, then nothing will. You see, economic or cheap, frugal food from back in the days when times were way harder than what they are now, which may be coming back to many of us. Definitely coming back in my life. Yeah. Don't be afraid. Maybe you'll try. Maybe you already make something up similar. Let me know down in the comments. Whew, I'm hungry. And I'm tired. So until I see you on the next video, Kitty Crew's all asleep. So is Gracie. Y'all take care. Stay safe. And God bless each and every one of you. Goodbye for now. Yep. This is tasty. I don't care if anybody likes it. I do. Oh yeah. Fine cuisine here. Yes, sir.